I'm good. Waterfall. All right, y'all. So we'll go ahead and get started. Um, all right, you guys. So welcome to Found a Way with Wyatt Matter. I am your host, Wyatt Matter. We're here every Wednesday night, 11 p.m. Eastern, where we take unconventional relationships and we listen to our guest stories and how they made it their norm. We're gonna listen to the perks, the benefits, and things as such. Tonight's topic of discussion is going to be pet fun. Um, we do have 6'5" Blk Chr1stian Grāy in the house again. He's touched on this subject a little bit. He participates a little bit in pet fun. We also have Slurposaurus planning to join us, but we'll see if she does show up tonight. If not, we'll run the episode back. So here's Foot. You guys have met him in the first episode. Why featured.
What's up, love?
So he's going to come give us a little bit of insight from his perspective in pet fun. But go ahead, tell us when we can catch you on here, what you do on here, what we can expect from you, and how you got introduced into pet fun.
Okay. My time for streaming is really irregular, so it's hard to catch me. I'm typically on about this time. A few times a week I try to do it, but work gets in the way. Um, my second time on the show, like you said, I love the first time I had to come back.
Mm-hmm.
As far as pet fun, I was introduced to it about 7 years ago or so.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it was very unconventional. And for me, sorry, camera feels weird to me. Try to get this right.
Get yourself right. It's good.
Okay. So for me, like I said, I got introduced to it, and for me, it seemed a little bit weird when I first was introduced to it, and then I got to know more about it, and it became everyday thing. Um, the first pet I had, how you doing, pretty bad? How you doing, love? Um, the first pet I had was an ex-girlfriend, and she was a kitten. So to
Mm-hmm.
clarify this, as far as a kitten, she would sometimes dress up as a cat. She was uh, exhibit feline tendencies. She
Mm-hmm.
would want to snuggle and play and be close and be rubbed and her play with. And that was her way of getting away from the normal world and just becoming who she wanted to be. I
Mm.
tell people this as far as when it comes to pet play, especially for females. I'm not gonna say this for every woman across the world, of course not. But do you enjoy getting your hair played with?
A
And
little bit, yeah.
most of them say yes.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy getting your cheeks stroked and touch around your neck and your ear area? Most women would
Never
say
really thought about that, but
most women
yeah.
would say yes. So I'm okay. So what's the difference between that and someone who does the same thing but with ears on?
Yeah, it's like you don't even like some probably already kind of participate without even realizing it.
You don't realize it. So it's not
Mm-hmm.
that far from our everyday world. It's not. And people want to think it's weird and strange. She'll tickle my neck. Once again, though, so perfect example. And I'm only doing this from one perspective because I cannot say it from the other side. So if a
Mm-hmm.
girl likes to lay on a guy's chest and snuggle against him, that's the difference between a cat who likes to jump on his chest and snuggle with them. There's
Mm-hmm.
no real physical difference. The only the only difference would be that this person identifies more so as a um, pet versus a traditional just boyfriend girlfriend. And to go even further, kitten is not the only thing. You could be a kitten, you could be a fox. I've seen horses, I've seen dogs. It's very interesting because I'm not sure if it's society or not, but what I've seen most pets when it's a girl, a female identifying. Let me clarify that. It tends to be a cat or a fox. When it's a
Mm.
male, it tends to be a dog or a horse.
That's
And if you think
interesting.
about it, think firstly, if most times you look at these creatures as feminine and masculine.
True.
So I think we tend to play things out even in the pet play world. Things kind of typically work their way out as far as society goes.
Okay. So Whew, that was a lot. So for y'all just walking in, this is Found a Way with Wyatt Matter. I'm your host, Wyatt Matter. We're here every Wednesday night, 11 p.m. Eastern. Tonight we have 645 Blk Chr1stian Grāy again. If you guys recognize him, he was in the first episode with the 50 Shades topic. So tonight we're touching pet fun. I'm trying not to use the other word because I don't know if that's a trigger word. So I'm trying really hard not to say it the other way. He is on the end of he has pets, not he is the pet. So we're getting his personal, thank you, Coco. We're getting his personal opinion and his personal experience from that aspect of the relationship. Um, so he just explained to us how he got into it, which was an ex who was into it, and the pet was a kitten. Um, he did just compare it when you ask women, do they like to be caressed or petted? Do they like their hair to be played with? And, most would answer yes. And so we kind of covered that some of us participate in these type of actions, but we don't really realize it. Um, do you think, I guess my question for you would be, do you think this is something that somebody can carry on long term? Like, do you think that it would eventually get old and they'll go out of it? Or do you think it's something that it's just going to be that comfort and they're going to consistently do it?
So the way I view it is that if you're a pet, you're going to always be a pet. There's no
Mm-hmm.
growth out of it. You grew into it. So to grow
Mm.
out of it means someone has to do something wrong. Sorry, let me jump in 1 second. Yes, Coco, they do have collars, like a traditional pet, like your cat or your dog. Like I said, I've seen horses. I've seen people with entire saddle type things on their backs.
And they
Um,
have the thing that they put in their mouth when
the
they ride
bits,
them, right?
they have bits. They have everything. I've seen them with hooves. They
Oh, they
actually
do
have
hooves too?
they have hooves,
Okay, so they go
tails.
all out.
And people don't realize that this is very expensive. How you doing, Undertaker? Very expensive. Uh, even for a
So is
traditional,
y'all.
just a dog mask. I've seen them go for $200-300 just for the mask. Now they have knockoffs, yeah, but to get a really good one, just with leather, you can go for
See,
$200-300 easy.
you want a
And to
man with
show,
money, ladies? You got to be a little unconventional.
and see, they do have collars. This could be used as one, but it's not. Not sure if I can show it, so never mind. I'm not gonna show it. I was going to, but I stopped myself.
I was
That
ready to
color.
look.
I'm not sure we can. So if you say we can, we'll go for it.
We'll play it safe. We'll play it safe because we're
We'll
going
play
to
it
be.
safe and do it. Actually, I'll do this. I have a leash that goes over here
Mhm.
and there. So yeah,
Okay.
and just to clarify some things with people who think that this is the best way to say this PC. It is a more one race than another race or ethnicity. It's not. You'll be very
Mm.
surprised that people all across every spectrum do it.
Hmm. Hey, Alexis. That's interesting. For those of you just walking in, this is Found a Way with Wyatt Matter. I'm your host, Wyatt Matter. We are here every Wednesday, 11 p.m. Eastern, where we take unconventional relationships, lifestyles, and all those of the sort, and we have our guests come up and they discuss um, these lifestyles, and they give us their own personal um, opinion, their own personal experience. They break things down for us, and this is not like a place for debate or anything. This is just for us to sit, listen, and hear, and possibly get a different point of view and how they made it their norm. Um, Tonight we are talking about pet fun with 6'5" Blk Chr1stian Grāy. He was here for our 50 Shades episode, and he did me a favor and came back for pet fun. So we just talked about how he got into the lifestyle. We talked about his personal take on it as the pet owner, I guess you would say, pet owner, right? Or is it different?
Actually, so it depends on what you do. You can call it owner.
Mm-hmm.
Something I'm hearing more now is handler.
Okay, a pet handler.
So handler.
Um,
So it can also be called owner, but handler is also a term that's used. they're pretty fluid as far as I know. They can be
Hmm.
interchanged. So if you say one or the other, most people would know who you're referring to.
Hey, we're learning some terms. That's what I love. Foot gives us the terms and everything. So he is more of the handler slash owner. So he's giving our perspective on that. He's never been a pet, so unfortunately, won't be hearing the pets version tonight. But we might be able to, do another episode next time, with the actual pet participant. Um, so my next question is it simple finding other people that are interested in this lifestyle?
Um, it is actually. It's a lot easier than what you think. For this lifestyle, it's very intertwined into the BDSM lifestyle. They're
Mhm.
intertwined. So if you're in that lifestyle, you'll be able to find people who are into that or are curious about it. Because it's really, traditionally, like everything says that. Thank you, appreciate that. Um, every rectangle is a square, but not every square is a rectangle. So they fit hand in hand. They're not exactly equal, but they're
Mhm.
hand in hand a lot of times. So yeah,
Okay.
so
Does
if you're in
anybody
that,
in the chat have any questions?
I would love questions. I love
Because
questions.
you guys stay having the questions. Usually, we had Coco ask if there was collars and stuff in participation with this, and he said yes. And he said it is expensive. So, like I said, you might want to consider the unconventional lifestyle of pet fun.
And also with the collars, um, when it comes to pet collars, yes, they have tails
Me
too.
too.
So let me, okay, so I'll touch collars and I touch tails. That sounds funny. Uh, so collars, they tend to be very personalized, like your own pet collar. So we have a pet at home that might have their like name on it or like something like this. But for people, it can be really expensive. You can have jewelry in it, you can have diamonds in it, you can have all type of things within their collar, and that's their thing. This is theirs. You can't use it for
I
someone else.
see. Okay, so Queen asked, how far can this go?
Okay,
Can this leave the household? Like, is this something that some people have been bold enough to leave the household with?
so okay, let me touch on Coco's first. Coco asked, "Are the tails?"
Oh yeah,
Yes,
the
most
tails,
animals.
tails.
So most animals do have tails. And some tails are insertable, if you can grasp what I'm saying without having to say it. They are insertable. They come in different sizes, large or small. Um, some of them, if you do not want to have an insertable, you can have one that goes around your waist and just hangs down. Depends on the person, depends on your relationship with that person. As far as how far can it go, Queen, this can be your whole life, period. You can be husband and wife, but the wife is the pet, or the husband's a pet. It can go either way. Once again, I'm only speaking from my side. I cannot speak from the other side, so I'd rather not say too much about it. It could be a 24/7 thing. It can be something that can be outside. I've seen and had a partner wear a tail in their clothes, and it wasn't acceptable.
Oh,
So I had to walk
oh.
around. I had to walk
Were
around.
people aware it was an insertable, or did they just think like, oh, they're
They,
just wearing a
they didn't
tail?
see it. They didn't see it. They had a long
That's
dress on.
funny. Wow.
And that question right there, Coach, is a really good question. So it's very similar to BDSM. You can have multiple partners, you can have multiple pets. Um, Depends on what relationship you have with your first pet, whether you guys want to expand and the pet owner handler another pet, or is this exclusive? This is a conversation that needs to be had. There's no set rule for it. That's the good thing about this world, about both worlds. You get to choose what road you want to take. You converse with your partner and
Communication is
you
key.
clarify. So a person can completely immerse themselves in his lifestyle. Absolutely, 100%. Once again, this typically goes hand in hand with BDSM. Are there any cons? Of course. People are people. People are just weird. We're humans. We are flawed. No one's gonna do everything perfectly, and so typically we're just flawed individuals. So anything that can happen in the regular world in English ship can happen in this world. Typically in this world, it's a lot cleaner. Typically, the
Mm,
breaks are a lot more smoother. It's more conversation. There's more of a connection in this world, typically. So there's deeper bonds.
hmm, I like that. For all y'all just walking in, this is Found a Way with Why It Matter. I'm your host, Why It Matter. I'm here every Wednesday night, 11 p.m. Eastern, where we take the unconventional and we listen to how our guests made it their norm. Tonight, we are talking about pet play with Foot. He was part of the first episode, 50 Shades, and he came back to help out. And he's answering questions from a pet owner or pet handler's perspective. He's never been a pet, so he's not going to give us any information in regards to that. However, I'm also giving you guys the floor tonight and asking some questions. This is featured, so we're not going to keep it on a sexual level or anything of that sort. We're going to keep it clean. But, I'm sure there are plenty of questions he's willing to answer anytime you guys decide to go to his life, fave him up. The next question was, what are the real benefits to this lifestyle?
Ooh, so that's an interesting question. So the real benefits is, it sounds weird to say, the real benefits are, it's just be a lot more honest. Someone is really trusting you to protect them in this space that they created.
Mhm.
So they can't share this with everybody. This is a space you created for this person for them to feel safe. So if you are vulnerable enough to become a pet for this person, you guys have a really close connection. It's very close, it's very personal, it's very deep. Um, it seems to be a lot different from just we're dating or this is my boyfriend, it's my girlfriend. When it's your pet, you literally have to take care of your pets as you would a actual pet. You have to make sure that they're okay, make sure they're mentally there, make sure that they're physically okay, make sure that they are well taken care of.
Good question.
So Coco Bond, to answer your question, that can happen too. Um, depends on the person. Depends on how far. Once again, it depends on how far you want to take it. I've had a partner, a pet, and sometimes I would literally pour milk into a bowl because they were in that mood. They would really want to embrace that being a pet, being a cat, being taken care of. So yeah, I would have them eat from bowl, mostly just milk, never food. I wouldn't try to do it too far for me, for that person. So yeah, people do that. People do eat from that. Horses, I've seen them eat from feed bags.
I think I've
Uh,
seen that too.
dogs
I've
from
seen
a
people
dog
do that.
bowl. You know,
Sorry,
that's
y'all. I've done a little research.
that's good though.
Um, so Queen is curious. Do they use the restroom in the same manner?
That does happen. Not for me. That's not how. That's not how
He
far
said you
I'm
went
gonna
too
take it.
far.
But they do have various levels to it, and if you're extremely into it, you can. They would create full size litter boxes, and the person would do that. I was I was gonna say something. Maybe you can do this on another show. Uh, age play. So sometimes it can go hand in hand with those types of dynamics. And when I say dynamics, I mean
Oh, so
relationships.
in that aspect, I'm gonna ask it because we here. So you if you go that young, you changing diapers.
You are. So yeah. So what? So I'm letting White read it, and I'll just answer.
Mm. Undertaker, we'll have to save that for another conversation.
Okay. Oh
We're not
yes,
gonna go into
leashes.
that.
So Kokomo, yes, leashes are a thing. People do like that. People, and when you see that, to me, I'm not a huge fan of that publicly. Um, to me, they tend to do it. They do it for the show. I don't do it for the show of it. I do it because it's something that's personal between me and that person.
So you don't take it outside the house.
Typically, not that most people can see. The most I would do maybe if it's in a BDSM style environment, I would have a collar or something and it would do it, but it wouldn't just be out on the corner somewhere. It wouldn't be a Walmart
Mm,
because then you have people who most people don't understand. They don't care to understand. You have children, you have people, and it just can get very iffy. I'd rather not do that.
mm-hmm,
Uh, so to answer Queen's question, do they eat human food? Yes. Most that I've seen do eat human food. Like I said, I have heard of. I've never seen it. Some people do eat the food of their animal. A lot of the food is uh, human grade, so it's not going to get you sick. But a lot, especially with
hmm.
dogs, most of their food now is better than our food.
Okay. I guess my question would be, are there people that don't break character? Like once they find that person and they discuss what everything is, like, is there ever a point where they break character? Or no, it's like, I'm gonna take care of you. This is what it is. You stay at my house, I go to work, you're here.
Once again, though, and I've heard of. I don't know personally. I don't know them personally. I can think of a couple. I've heard of a couple that they met and they dated. She became his pet, and she became his full-time pet. She didn't
Mm,
work. She stayed at home. She cooked, clean like a normal person, like a human. But she was his 24-hour pet.
mm,
Now I've seen, no, not seen, I've heard of that. I've never seen it personally, but it's no different from uh, a person choosing to be a stay-at-home parent. This is your job
mm,
now. I'm gonna take care of you. Your job is to do X, Y, and Z. There is no
mm.
difference.
I like that you compared that. Um, well, this is Found a Way with Wyatt Matter. I'm your host, Wyatt Matter. We're here every Wednesday night, 11 p.m. Eastern. Tonight's topic is pet fun with 6'5" Black Christian Grey. We just went over, um, the limits when it comes to pet fun, coming out in public with it. Is it more private? And he actually just compared, he just compared a full-time pet to being a stay-at-home parent, and it was actually a really good comparison in my opinion. Um, if there was anybody in here watching that was possibly interested in this lifestyle, just curious, what would you recommend they do? Where should they go?
First thing, do your research. Google is our friend. Google is really your friend. Um, yeah, so do that. And I'm not sure we can say other websites while we're on here.
You guys can always DM. Foot has all the answers. His inbox is open.
My inbox is open for normal questions. No, I'm kidding. If you actually have a legit question, my inbox is open. I always get scammers, so make
Or
sure
if
you.
you guys can't reach Foot, my Instagram is linked to my page. You guys can always message me there and say, hey, I was part of the show. I was wondering if I can get some information. I will text Foot and forward it to you.
It's funny you say that now because I do have an IG now.
Oh, about time. So
So
yeah.
my IG is actually like my name, 6'5" underscore tags. So the number
Yeah.
6 foot number 5 underscore tags.
We're
Send me a
turning him into
message.
an official streamer, y'all. He got the IG to go with it.
Here we go.
What are some examples you would say to your pet? Oh, like things he would tell his pet?
Are you talking about examples that I would do to them or say to them or discipline them or be a little bit more specific? See that? Yes.
Is there such a thing as disciplining your pet? Like
Yes.
as if you would a real pet?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Because the person is in character as a pet. The pet's not always perfect. The pet is not always perfect, especially if you're a cat. Cats are mischievous. They tend to do things just for the sake of doing things. Um,
I see why you like cats.
like you can literally have a cup here and a cat for some reason would just tip it over just for the sake of tipping it over. And that's the same thing if you're in character, if you're in your
And they really do that? They'll
mindset.
just walk up and be like, "Yeah."
Absolutely, like you said, Sam.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
they'll
love
do
it. That sounds kind of fun. I would be,
see.
yeah, that sounds kind of fun.
But yeah, so that's the thing though, because again, your pets aren't perfect. You sometimes have to, and they are, of course, they're human and they naturally know what they're doing, but they want that discipline. They want to get in trouble. They want it. It doesn't have to be a bad trouble. You just kind of want to get in trouble. And I would compare that to a relationship. Like people, your partner may sometimes push your buttons. Okay, once again, I only speak from my side. So this times I've heard of, and had it happen to me to where a female partner will push a guy's button or my button to give me a set to have me reach a certain mode or say something to them in a deeper tone, in a hard tone, and grab them and do something like that to where the turn on for them. So there's no difference between that and when your pet messes up. They might want you to be a little bit mad at them to get things spicy.
Now, have you ever disciplined your kitten, like how they do for real, like with the water bottle? Because we had cats and we use
Yes,
water bottles.
yes.
You do the water bottles?
I have done
Yeah,
a
that
lot
sounds
about
like fun. I think, look, I might be making, um, you know, some phone calls.
it. So there, while you read it, and I'll answer.
Yeah. So would you tell your pet to sit down, roll over, stuff like that?
I've only done kittens and a fox or two, I think. But that's traditionally not what they do. It's only for like dogs tend to roll over and sit
Yeah,
down.
because you don't really teach your cat to listen to that extent.
Right. So I've seen it though. I have seen it. I've seen it a lot of times. I've seen it to where so it's very interesting. I've seen it to where I'm going to events and there are pets there and they will have a corner of a room set for the pets to play.
Mhm.
So these pets will play with each other. Your pet, you will walk your pet over there, tell your pet to sit or stay or whatever. And then um sorry. And then have them do that. I've seen them sit. The person will be sitting in a chair. The pet would just sit there by them. And a pet, being a pet, might sometimes want to wander or play with another pet, and they have to be disciplined to sit right here. I told you to sit.
Hmm. Now, all right. Before I do my little thing again, I got this question. Okay, so you know how cats typically don't like to bathe? Like normally people just go take them to, like a shop or something where they have more experts that do it. Have you ever played to that extent where you're giving the kitten a bath and then they're fighting, or do they sit there and take it?
I've never experienced the fighting, which is very funny though, because that's a very good point. Have not experienced the fighting. Have experienced washing a kitten, wrapping up in like a towel or something. But yeah, never
Mm.
had the fighting, luckily. But that would be a thing.
That might be
So
a
that could be.
thing. Okay. For all y'all walking in, this is Found a Way with Why It Matter. We're here every Wednesday at 11 p.m. Eastern. We take the unconventional and we talk about how our guest makes it their norm. Tonight we have 6'5" Blk Chr1stian Grāy, and he is going over pet fun. We just discussed little things within a pet fun relationship, and he's been comparing them to a regular relationship, and making very good examples, might I add. So our next question is from Coco Ma. She just said, "How do you praise and punish your kittens?" Because he preferably is a owner, from what he's told us. So he's giving us an owner's perspective. We might do a part two with the pet.
Uh, well, like he would do it with pets. Scratches, rubs, cuddles, snugs, food. Traditionally, it's the same way. So once again, to bring it back to the quote unquote normal world, if a guy wanted his partner to feel special, he would bring her dinner, bring her flowers, bring her candy. Once again, that's food and everything else. It's just no difference. It's the same concept either way. As far as punishment, I would say it's traditionally more so like you punish a kid. For me, go stand in the corner, except for the water spray bottle, which you might want to do to a kid, maybe. Uh, with
Lord,
that,
I done it.
spankings. Um, that's another part of it. Not going to delve too much into that because of the show, but
Mm.
that's the thing too. You could be spanked. I think I wasn't sure it was Coco or Queen said something about a newspaper. I think it was Queen. But yeah, I have to go with the newspaper when it comes to certain animals and have it and use that as an implement to strike them with.
I've already done that in a relationship, so I think I'm perfect for this type of lifestyle. Just saying.
Go ahead, go for it.
I I feel though. Well, okay, here's my question. Is it possible to be a switch in this, or is it like dead like, okay, so I'm the owner, you're the pet, or like you said before, it's all about communication?
I've never experienced that before, so it's a very good question. Let me think for 2 seconds. I believe there could be switches in it. I do believe that. I think to have two switches at the same time would be rare. As far as
Mhm.
this side of things, is is kind of common when it comes to BDSM.
Okay.
But for this type of thing, I think it's more rare to find that because you're so far into the rabbit hole.
Mhm.
I don't see many people coming in and out of that rabbit hole too often.
That is a good question. So how would you initiate
Initiate it as far as when you meet a person, or as far as when you walk into the door, or at what point?
that?
Okay, so now I get you saying. So once again, though, when you're in the 50 Shades lifestyle, you can communicate with people, and people let you know what they like. Um, I would say it's like a open singles bar. So when you meet a person, you're like, hey, what do you like? Oh, I like walks on the beach. I like this. When it comes to 50 Shades, it's the same thing. Like, hey, what do you like? Well, I'm into pet fun. I'm into this. I'm into that. It's very open and honest. You communicate with the person, and then you decide.
Hmm. So I remember in the first episode you explained like kind of how you get introduced into the lifestyle
I'm sorry. Give
in
me
that
2 seconds.
aspect.
Give me 2 seconds.
Mhm. Take your time. Y'all, if y'all still in here, if you got any more questions, feel free to put them in the chat. We got 10 more minutes with Mr. Foot. Is there negotiations involved? Ooh, we shall see. Coco, you were deep in this. I think you see a new lifestyle at the end of the tunnel. Well, once again, for those in the back, this is Found a Way with Wyatt Matter. I'm your host, Wyatt Matter. We are here every Wednesday, 11 p.m. Eastern. We are taking the unconventional and discussing how our guests have made it their new norm. This is not a debate. This is just for us to sit, listen, and hear a person's personal experience of these lifestyles. Tonight we are going over pet play, pet fun with a foot. He was just asked how could pet play be initiated. We discussed it as far as like when does it take over. My question was like in our first episode, which you guys can see on my YouTube, linked in the bio. Um, you talked in the first episode for 50 Shades, like how I guess you guys go to like lunches and you talk and you know, but that's a topic of discussion. So, how do you initiate the pet fun in this aspect? Is it the same way, or is it like, hey, let me get your number, let me ask you if you into this?
So the The way that I would say would be to find the 50 Shades lifestyle and go from there. It's easier to find a person that's will be more susceptible to it. Not saying you can't meet a person at a bar, she just happens to like it. I mean, that's how people are, but it's just hard to find because most people view this as taboo, and
Hmm.
it's hard to meet people like that. So yeah, I'll say traditionally the same way for 50 Shades, you go to what we call a munch. So it's Munch. Look that word up. I know lately has had another term, another
Yeah.
use of it lately, but look up a munch. Look up those acronyms that we're gonna not gonna say, and then comma munch. And what it is a meeting of people of the lifestyle who just come together, have a drink, have conversation, and talk. And during those talks, you can meet someone who's possibly into pet fun.
Okay.
So,
And
Coco
then
had another
she
question.
said, is there negotiations involved?
Of course, always you need to know how far this person wants to go with it, whether you're comfortable and how far that they want to go. Perfect example from earlier when she said, "Do they go to the washroom like pets?" If someone wanted to do that, that wouldn't be for me. That's just not how far that I want to take it.
Right.
So you have to have all type of negotiations when it's going to be, when it's going to happen. It's 24/7. If it's at this date and this time, are we just going to do this every so often? You get to discuss every aspect of it upfront or over time and try to figure out how you
Mm.
guys want to work things out.
Now, do you have to be playful to be a good kitten?
Depends on what your partner finds a good kitten. Kittens are to be
Mm,
playful. I mean, that's how most kittens are. That's how most people want to be. They want to be playful. They want to um, have fun with their partner. They want to be. Thank you, Coco. They want to be up on their partner, playing with them, messing with them, snuggling them, kissing them, petting them, rubbing against them. That's what they want. That's part of. I feel part of being a kitten is that aspect. You get that closeness. You get that connection to that person.
now, is there age fun within the pet fun world? Like, do they only want kittens, or are they fine with a grown cat that just likes to lay around all day?
That's also a good question. Uh, all I've seen is people say kitten slash cat, but never an older cat. No matter the age of the person, they want to be the kitten or a cat, not an old cat. So I've never seen a
Mm.
person just want to loaf like a cat. They constantly want that attention. They want that closeness, that connection with the person.
I mean, they can still have that closeness. They're just gonna lay there. Old fat cat just laying there,
It
waiting
could
for you to
be.
come rub his
I just
belly.
haven't. I haven't experienced or seen it personally. So back to what Coco just said.
That's gonna
Just
be me. I'm gonna venture into this world and start a new thing. We just
there
gonna
you
lay
go.
around
Go
all
for it.
day. um, so Coco's question was, do you buy the gear for your kittens? He did say that he does. He said it's a very expensive lifestyle.
Yeah, they can be. For any pet, you buy what they need, or they buy it, or you do it jointly. It depends on your relationship. Um, you get to buy them their colors or a harness, or you get to create a harness for them, or create a nice color for them, and get it personalized and this that, and another. Like I said, when they have actual horse heads they can put on. Those things can go into the thousands of dollars, easy.
Easy, that's a lot. Okay, we have a. I'm gonna try to push it for another 10 minutes if we can, because people got questions and it's pushing us along. I love it. Um, I had a question. Has your kitten ever scratched or beaten you?
Yes and yes. Bitten. Not beaten, but bitten, yes. I
Oh, bitten. Oh,
knew
my
she
bad.
meant. I knew she meant she's sleepy. That's okay, Coco. But no, they have scratched me because they want to be playful. Bitten me because they want to have fun. They want that girl from me. That's what they want. They want me to increase the baritone of my voice, get deeper, and tell them don't do this. And I can't curse right now, but
I would have
person.
to see this. I've never seen foot like that.
I can't say it, of course, but there's someone in the comments that actually knows my voice when I get upset, and not upset, but when I get that growl in it. And there she is.
What is the difference between pet and human play? Well, I guess like you're in character,
Dope.
right?
Yeah, pretty much you're just in character. You get to leave your human side to become a pet
Okay, now,
to get
all
away
right.
from reality.
My question is, I have a relationship question, and I have this question because but it's been in my mind since we started this. Okay, there are people that are into like the mascot thing, but, is that the same thing?
No,
Okay, just curious.
no, there's a total difference. It's a girl for
It's a
me.
girl for me.
It's a different world. Um, I don't know too much about that world, but there's a difference. That
Mhm.
world tends to be both partners being a quote, I'm not sure how much I can say here, being a character.
I just used mascot because that came into my mind because I'm thinking
No,
like
no,
I
right.
forget what they're called. It's something else. It's something
I
else
know
where
what
it's
it's
like
called. I'm not sure if I can
swan.
say it on here. I'm not sure if I can say it
Yeah,
on here. It starts Furr.
you can say furries. I don't think there's anything wrong
Okay.
saying
I,
furries.
I, I wanted to say I wasn't sure how much I
Yeah.
could say. Yeah, fur.
But that was the term I was looking for. I wasn't trying to say I mean, I know there's people that are into mascots too, but that's a whole different realm.
It
But
is.
yeah, I
I
was
knew she
wondering
was
if
about
that
furs.
was the same thing.
No, it's not the same thing because then typically both partners want to be dressed in a costume to perform
Oh.
things. As far as I know. So once again, I'm not into that world, so I don't want to say too much about them. But that's what
Mm,
I've seen.
okay. And then as a relationship aspect, can you be in a relationship with somebody who doesn't participate in that and possibly still have that? Because I would think that that's something that's not always going to be something in a sexual realm, you know?
Most times it's not sexual.
Yeah. So you
It's
would,
not.
you think it's possible to be in a relationship and your partner be understanding that you're into that because they're not into being your pet?
Yeah, it is. I've seen couples, married couples, who one partner partakes in 50 Shades lifestyle, and the other one doesn't. So I would assume that
Hmm.
the same thing could happen in this. You could have one person that's into the pet fun, one person that's not. You need to be open and honest with your partner whether how much fun is involved when you play. Is this set session? Do you have a set person? Is that person a known friends? That person come over to the house? Is it just, you guys get to work it out? Once again, that's something I like about these worlds. It's very, very upfront and honest and very on the table. There's,
But it's a lot easier when it's with your life partner though.
I don't see it easier. I don't see it easier. It may
Hmm.
seem easier because it's one person for everything, but also, what if your partner really doesn't understand it, doesn't want to deal with it, but they love you enough to let you go ahead and do it? To me, that creates a better connection between you and your partner now. Like you
Right,
love me so much, you allow me to do me without worrying about anything.
right.
So that's the thing.
Let your man have his pet, y'all. All right. So, I'm gonna go ahead and conclude it. We've been here for at least 30. Thank you so much for pushing through, you guys. This is Found a Way with Wyatt Matter. I'm your host, Wyatt Matter. We are here every Wednesday night, 11 p.m. Eastern. We have 6'5" Blk Chr1stian Grāy who saved the day with our topic pet fun. Um, he's been very informative from a owner's perspective. I love him for it because now we have the opportunity for us to a part two to this show where we get the opposite end because our other guest was unfortunately not able to make it tonight. So now that allows us to have a part two, so you'll hear a whole different side. Exactly. Good night, Coco. I appreciate
Coco.
all y'all for coming through. Y'all be sure to give Foot a fave. What things do you have coming up on the app, Foot, before you go?
I don't really think, actually, no, let me take that back. I have an auction that I'm doing next month. So I'll
Okay.
post a flyer for it later. Yeah, I have an auction next month. And then once again, I'm contemplating doing an auction myself. I'll let you know about it though. So I would
Okay.
host it.
Sounds fun.
Yeah.
I do remember you mentioning bingo. Are we doing bingo still?
Oh, you know what? As a matter of fact, I might do it tonight.
Okay, so if you
I
guys are
might do it
interested,
tonight.
we can run over to Foots Live and try out bingo, see how you guys like that. And he has a Dirty Minds game. We'll see when he decides to bring that back because that's a fun too.
And also, you know what? One more second. Why? I do have another game now. I'm gonna show you one quick
Mm,
second.
thank you, Cookie. All you on the back, if you guys are enjoying the show, be sure to hit the fave the guest, fave the Reds in the comments. Also, make sure you fave the gifters as well. A lot of them have shows and they're streamers too.
So the new game I have is now it's called the voting game. If you guys want to play this, it's very fun and it teaches you a lot of things about people that you know well and don't know at all. So, why do you mind if I read you one question?
Sure, let's try it.
Okay, here we go. One quick question. So this game will be good in the box.